Madam Secretary, as I noted in my opening statement, I do support a policy of engagement with Iran. At the same time, I can't get away from the fact that Iran's efforts to acquire nuclear weapons capability keep going ahead, and that this engagement can't be so open-ended that we essentially pass the threshold that we're seeking to avoid by virtue of the engagement. So my two questions: one, what kind of time frame do you have in mind for the Iran engagement? And the second question is based on the assumption that the engagement is more likely to work in a reasonable time if the regime understands that a failure to respond to our efforts will result in truly crippling sanctions. And to get that level of sanctions, we can't do it ourselves. This is going to have to be an international effort. And I'm curious, I would like to know, are we pursuing the default position, the leverage that I think will make the engagement more likely as we deal with key members of the international community and the Security Council?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think your question very accurately describes the efforts we're undertaking. We have concluded that it is going to be a more successful engagement if our partners around the world understand that they must work with us and support our efforts, including tougher sanctions. And I've had a number of conversations over the course of the last 90-plus days with allies, partners, and other nations concerned about Iran's continuing ambitions for nuclear weapons. I think there are 3 points I would make, Mr. Chairman. One, the fact that we are engaging, that we have fully participated in the P5+1 process actually gives us more leverage with other nations. Number two, I think the fact that we have been willing to go even beyond the P5+1 and to reach out to Iran, to invite them, as I did, to the conference in The Hague on Afghanistan, increases even further our ability to ask more from other nations. And finally, I think our engagement, which we have no illusions about, as I mentioned to you, puts us on much stronger international footing. So I want to assure you that we will be operating on dual tracks. Yes, we are more than willing to reach out to the Iranians to discuss a range of issues, assuming they're willing to reach back. As the President said in his inaugural address, we'll hold out our hand, they have to unclench their fist. But we are also laying the groundwork for the kind of very tough, I think you said, crippling sanctions that might be necessary in the event that our offers are either rejected or the process is inconclusive or unsuccessful.
Well, thank you very much. I'll yield back the balance of my time, and I will recognize the ranking member.